Ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dames, sirs and ma'ams, welcome back to Diablo 4 with the Spiritborn. Final day of pushing this build to its limit without too much relying on chaotic uniques and everything. So we already did our best. We're already in an okayish position, still not as strong as you'd like to be. We all know that Spiritborn has quite some scaling problems. Unless you obviously have all the right stuff from the market, but no worries. We'll get it done. I'm pretty much looking forward to see what we can actually pull off today. I'm like finish on our survival part. I know this is also getting buffed. I like the amount of overpowers we're doing, right? So it's all feeling rather good. We still have to scale this now, so it's also doing this on higher things. Good afternoon, Bill. Pleasure to have you there on a Saturday. After spending like my whole morning in a children indoor playground for a birthday, I think it's time to slay some demons, you know? And see that we can scale this bad boy all the way. So we got a build guide for you tomorrow with all the details on what this build does, truly. I mean, we definitely scaled the overpower to now happen every single cast, so that's a big GG. We made the survivalier, big GG times 2, right? Now we just need to scale the damage to truly be something nice. Maybe we'll find a chaotic armor. Maybe we'll manage to do it without. Maybe Loyalty's Mental could help if I find like another Banished Lord's Talisman. That would be good. Because right now my Banished Lords is a helmet, right? And I'd rather need it as a chest piece, pan, something in that direction. So that's what I'd like to get. Because then I could try to play a Harmony of Abawaka to see if that would be enough damage scaling together with the Banished Lords. Or if I could just play Banished Lords, right? Have to see. Odin, howdy party. How are you doing? Main goal today will be getting all our glyphs to 45. It's obviously always like something you want to do, right? Spiritborn sadly needs that for scaling early. Not like Druid, like level 1 glyphs, get 100 done. Quite some grind to do today. And more Infernal Hordes, obviously. Way more. 2,000 armor. I'm sure we need like vastly more armor for more damage. I mean, it's 40% of the armor, so we need like 3,000 somewhat armor, right? For maximum damage from unyielding hits. I think Harmony might be the secret sauce. Need to probably take my... Banished Lords from another character. I could just try playing a normal Banished Lords instead of chaotic one, but not gonna do that, are we? There we go. Nice little 3-minute clear here. See ya, Scourge. Spade Needle, good to see you there. Terra, howdy. Good start into the day for the Spiritborn. So in case you missed what's wrong, quotation mark wrong, with Spiritborn, it's all about Spiritborn being, how do I put this now? Very hard to scale compared to the other classes, right? You already need good masterworks. You already need good things together to actually have like a quota of damage come out of the Spiritborn. Maybe I could use a Quox rune. That'd be interesting. I mean, right now we have Puck Quox actually happening already, and we're gonna bury him. So I wanted to... Oh, we need more armor, that's for sure. I don't have a Banished Lords, right? Let me double check. I had another Banished... We get the Banished Lords, and we get a Banished Lords chest piece, right? But that would be my yes and shells. So I need like pans or boots currently. Banished Lords, that would be good. Let's see, what do we have? We got like quite some here. So we could do the Hordes. We can do some... Send her back to the lobby. Actually, why do I have a Nightmare Dungeon escalation sigil? Oh, that's interesting. Let's do a chaos rift to start the day with. See what comes out of that, right? Steven, good afternoon. Thank you for the gifted membership and good to see you there. Denso also, howdy partner. We're all doing well. Today a short, sweet stream in front of us, 3-4 hours. Is this the third stream of the Spiritborn? Yes, Shiro. I mean, every other character needed a maximum of 8 to 10 hours to become like insane, right? And the Spiritborn is now at stream number 3, and we're still needing to put together the pieces to get it there. That just really shows how much more grind intensive the Spiritborn is. Now, if you're looking for that grind, though, that's kind of perfect, right? It's a bit imbalanced in comparison to the power gain, but obviously the Spiritborn has a very nice power ceiling because of that, so that's actually cool, right? If your character might not grow the fastest, but therefore has a bit more actual grind to do, then want to min-max your character to the moon. But yes, for the people that don't have time and that do want to feel powerful quick, Spiritborn is definitely not the character of choice. I could just gamble pens probably and see if I get a chaotic armor, huh? What's the worst thing that happens? I get chaotic armor? Tomorrow will, though, start with a new class, and I need to decide if it's going to be Barbarian or Rogue. I mean, these are my last 2 classes left that I haven't messed with. I know Barb is being buffed with a patch, so I might actually go for Rogue. The problem is I really don't like the Rogue's power, because the Rogue's power is all about moving, right? So Rogue has like one chaotic power that says whenever you move, you get multiplicative more damage, and it stacks. It's kind of like overabundance just with moving. But that also means that even if you're fighting like a single enemy, you're literally forced to like dish dash between the target just to get more damage. That's really not what I want to do. I mean, that'd be like the one reason I'm like, no Rogue. Can we do the soul shard build with a one-hand weapon and or a shield? No. I mean, you can, but that will make you vastly less strong. I also don't see a reason why you would want to do that. Like, you know, what would be the reason why you would like to pull that off instead of just using a two-handed weapon? So if you at least had, like, if you had a good reason to do it, right? If you're like, oh man, you know, I kind of feel like I need this, and you're like, okay, sure. Cosmetics. That's not a good reason. I mean, I want to say that's a good reason, brother, but like the amount of power gain you get for looks is power loss you have for looks is horrible. I get it though. I understand. Passion souls, you know. How many times have we played Elden Ring and we're like, why are you wearing this fancy hat? Well, the reason is because it looks good, but it has way worse armor values. Yeah. No one asked about your opinion, you little shit. So I do understand you, but that's like so much power loss. Will you do a Barb? Yes, I'll do a Barb, but I really wanted to do a Bleed Barb, and Bleed is actually getting buffed in the patch on Tuesday. In case you missed it, there's a patch on Tuesday coming. So I'm very harsh considering to just wait to do that. Then again, the Bleed buff is not going to make it suddenly so much more amazing that Bleed is actually worth it. I just wish there was an actual Bleed build. I'm just a huge fan of like damage over time thematics. I think it's like always cool to kind of see if you can make it work, right? Lame. Lost Spiritborn playstyle, but they're difficult. It's not really difficult, they're just grind intensive, right? I play an hour or 2 a day. Should I stick with the Evade Spiritborn? Well, I played the Evade Spiritborn Mac until I reached Torment 2, and then I got really, really bored of the playstyle. However, you can keep playing the playstyle, so there's no need to swap. It was just my personal dislike of the Evade Spiritborn that at some point I was just like, yeah, here and not further, because like I'm truly just it's you know it's enough. I've played enough of that. What do you think here about Hydrosork? You can play Hydrosork. You can either play it with Mana Shield or without Mana Shield. You get tons of damage. I mean, like, Hydrosork is as good as it's always been. Slight nerf, but not to a point where you're like, oh my god, no, I get nerfed so hard. We're like, well, whatever. It's literally, yeah, so, whatever, I guess. What do you do with your characters at the end of each season? Do you just delete them to make room for a new season? Yep. I don't even have an Eternal character that has all the mythics and everything, so I do not have like a crazy Eternal account. I literally just delete the characters and I'm just like, good riddance, nerds. It's nice knowing you. And I just kick them in the nuts and that's it. What's your all-time favorite build? That's a very good question. Back. I personally like the Corpse Explosion build. So there used to be a very cool Corpse Explosion build where Corpse Explosion was really the main source of damage. That's not possible anymore. I really loved it, but it's just not possible. Okay, I wonder if I should go and grind the reputation so we could get the Resplendent Cash, guys. Because if we do this right now, we might get Chaos Uniques that are actually helpful. So I'd say let's do like... Maybe 1-2 more, right? And then we'll see if we like get a cool thing and then do some Infernal Hordes and try to scale our power, right? This could be it. Let's find out. Yeah, there used to be some Corpse Explosion Bomber build and it was really cool. What I personally dislike is that some skills can't scale into the end game, right? So like we have the skills called core skills. Right? It's in their names. They are technically the core of the game. However, a lot of the core skills are simply not able to be played in the end game. And I feel that's a little bit backwards because, I mean, they're called core skills for a reason, I hope, right? All should be end game viable. Maybe only Torment 4 viable, like not Pit 100, okay, don't get me wrong, Pit 70. Every single skill should be Pit 70 viable, at least. And I'm just sad that they ain't so. Because that would make like so many more cool builds. And the real sad part is that it would be so easy to do. So this is not even like it's so complicated to make this work, right? A lot of the core skills, and I think you could think about a core skill on your favorite character already, and you're like, hey, if this would get twice the damage, it wouldn't be OP, it would literally just be functional. Right? It would turn from unfunctional to functional. And there's a lot of skills like that in the game where you're like, so just flip some numbers, boys. And it works. That would be great. When will the plan for the Spiritborn be up? So the main reason why we don't have the plan for the Spiritborn be up yet is because we haven't reached the point where the Spiritborn is like, yeah, damn, it's doing what it's supposed to do. So I recently managed to get the permanent Overpower done, so that was nice. And that was a very important step in the general build progression. And I obviously have written down like how that step is to be achieved, because it's like the biggest step to feel Torment 4 viable, right? When you actually manage to finally get the overpowers. Now, the problem is the next step. So what do we do now to get more damage? And what I'm currently thinking about is if I could get a Banishlet's Talisman as my boots, or if I could get a Banishlet's Talisman as my pants, then I could try to threaten a Harmony of Abawaka to see if that gives me the damage I need. What would Harmony of Abawaka do? Harmony of Abawaka would boost my Gorilla to more damage than ever before. Harmony of Abawaka would make my Eagle Feathers even stronger. So I could potentially do some nasty things with that. Or I could play Loyalty's Mental again and then swap my powers around, but I don't think I need Loyalty's Mental. More like an Abawaka thing. But again, I'm not entirely sure what that would do for us power-wise. So I tend to just not give you something that's not fully cooked yet, right? Because I don't want you to run into the same issues I do, right? So each build has obviously the issues and problems to overcome. But the last thing I want is for you to start a build and then arrive at the same conclusion that I do while this scaled shitty, right? But then not have the answers. Because right now I kind of have the answers to how to scale this character, right? But how do I scale this character in a meaningful way that doesn't require thousands of hours of farm, right? Because you don't have thousands of hours. You don't have Rob levels of farm. I think we're going to call them Rob levels of farm without being mean to Rob in any way, right? because that's like the investment of time, right? You want to be gay man? Well, you need Rob levels of farm then, brother. The shit gamer play PoE full-time. Well, sir, you might not know this, but most PoE streamers, content creators are miserable as hell because they do only do PoE full-time. So, as much as I would like to take your sage advice, that's probably well thought out and very grounded in your experience with content creation. I like will stick to playing multiple games, right? Because otherwise, I'll just turn into a miserable person that rants about other games instead of just having fun with games. Okay. Cool. Good talk. One thing D4 has over PoE 2 is the feel of a build. The builds mentioned above feel so good to play opposed to like LA Deadeye, though Ice Strike Monk is pretty fun. I think the difference here is following. In Diablo, you pretty much start with a build and end with a build. Now, how do I say this? In Diablo, you start with a level build, and then you like that's 2-3 hours, 4 hours maybe, and then you put together your endgame build, and your endgame build really quickly comes together, and then you feel like you're in the endgame build, right? And in PoE, for my pace at least, I often play from level 1 to 85 with the same build, right? And develop it and develop it further and develop it further. And it's like a whole journey with one build, pretty much, right? Whereas in Diablo, you have this point where you're like, I get item 1, 2, 3, and bam, it works, right? It's suddenly like you get 3 items together, and then everything works. And that's like with PoE, it's more like the journey into getting there, and it's a long journey because you just get like skill points, and then you get one more skill point, and then maybe a unique that you trade for. It's just a bit of a different journey. Okay, we haven't gotten like much reputation for this one dungeon. I was hoping to get a bit more reputation. I can buy the rest of the reputation, so I'm not too fussed about this, right? I can just buy the rest. I can just get the Infernal Warp, so not breaking my mind here. Nightmare Sigil, so don't mind if I do, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is going to be a dungeon that's going to poop out tons of warp, because right now I have the warp bridge buff. Fantastic. Whoops. What is this one? This is a Spiritborn Gorilla Smash Feathers build that is using the power of the Rod of Kapaleka to pretty much permanently overpower. So right now I have 200 or 191 resource, right? And the Rod of Kapaleka is using up all my resource, and then I push the Banishless Talisman, and I use up all the resource, and then pop. So every second hit is like an overpower, and that leads to like the amount of overpowers that you see here. Now the problem is obviously that my overpowers have low damage, right? They go up to like 50 million, 60, 70 million, 80 million. That's low damage. So I need to now, you know, go above and beyond. Okay, what do we get? Again, that's a Lockrins with maximum resource. The problem is with Lockrins is it's kind of like a cool thing for the maximum resource, right? But the critical strike chance is useless because you have the harmony of, you have the Rod of Kapaleka, and this says take resource and guarantee critical strike. So be useless. I will keep this one though, just in case, because you never know until you know. Let's kick the rest out. We're gonna gamble for pants, because if I would get a chaotic armor, I would want it to be a chaotic pants armor, right? I need nothing else, so everything I get is here quite useless. I just Unless I get like a chaotic pants. All just flat out a waste of my time.
There's something special.
Nothing. Not even a single thing. Oh, we took armor, maximum life, resistance. Those resistance. Yep. But all that resistance to like pretty much be good off. Okay, let's buy the rest of their reputation because we're boring. Will barb build depend on rupture, Yarki? I want to make a barb rupture build. However, the bleed does not seem to be scaled enough. They fixed or they buffed the longsword expertise to 30% more bleed damage. Yet that 30% more bleed damage does not give enough, sadly. Okay. Okay, we're just here to scoop out the absolute rest of the reputation. I know, Chad. Lazy half, but what can I say? That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Are we ready? We're obviously get a spark, but we also get chaotic armor often from this. Okay, there's pants, there's pants, there's pants. Let's go. There's gloves. I need the gloves, but I need the pants. Okay, let's go. Get the spark, agony, get the compasses. Okay, show me the money. What do we have here? This is a Balzan's Max Ladle, and this is a Balzan... Really? 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 That's... Why don't you just spit me in the face? That's a Harmony of Abawaka. Interesting. I was looking to actually play a Harmony of Abawaka, but I could simulate playing a Harmony of Abawaka right now. What do I mean? Well, so usually I would play the Harmony of Abawaka on my helmet, and I would play the Banishless Talisman on my pants. But since I don't have that, I might as well just flip it around, right? Yeah. So what does the Harmony do? According to your secondary Spirit Hall choice, your skills are also additional Jack, Eagle, Gorilla, or Centipede skills. Now, what we got here going is, we got the currently Spirit Hall is Jack and Gorilla, so the Gorilla is already Gorilla and Jack. I could choose instead of Gorilla Eagle, right? But my Quivoys are also Eagle and Jack, and they'll be also Gorillas. So they'll get another 48% bonus damage. And generally, your skills deal a 48% bonus damage per spirit skill they have. So that's a 90% more damage on the Protector. That is like 100 yada 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 damage more on my yada yada yada, right? So that's actually pretty good. Must have worked that up 4 times. Karagar? I don't love the Ascendancies in PoE because it feels like a chore, but I think D4 could really use something that really high stakes like that. Okay, think with me for a second, guys. What if... Okay, listen, chat. What if you would level up and you would choose a key passive, and your key passive would open up a new little skill tree that you can put in 12 points. And for these 12 points, as you said, you got to go into Torment 4. You got to kill, like, Torment 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to kill a lair boss. You got to clear a pit, blah, whatever, right? And then you get skill points. So you could, like, I choose to go Prodigy's Tempo. I choose to go Companion, Minions, blah, whatever. And as you say, like an Ascendancy, I could then choose this one as my main key passive, obviously. And I get a little skill tree where I can then choose to make it matter even more, right? So as you say, Ascendancies is... It's like a PoE idea, but like you could add a bonus skill tree to the key passive to take the idea of the key passive even further, that you feel like you have a bit more influence over your build and you're not just, you know, you don't just reach the end. Possible. Comments. It's like the little things when you like think a bit about it, what would be possible. Like the these would also be realistic things, right? We don't want them to reinvent the wheel. We don't want them to rethink the game. We just want to see meaningful, cool changes that add something nifty to the game. I mean, I want to see that. At one point per layer boss will be fun. Something like that might. Like, there would be easy ways to thread this in that as you actually go through the content, you get meaningful power boosts that would make you stronger. Okay, let's see if we now do the pit 60 faster with the buff. I mean, it would just add another layer of depth, right? Without breaking the game. And let's be fair, adding another skill tree into the key passive shouldn't be a problem. Okay, like, notice how my damage values went up? I don't know if you notice, actually. Hey, chat, notice how my damage values went up? So I actually don't know if you do, though, but they went up. I, like, trust. Well, interestingly enough, did they, though, go up? Because the thing is, now, so I'm playing the Harmony of Abawaka now, right? But the biggest problem with using the Harmony of Abawaka is that I actually lost armor. What happens when I lose armor, then the aspect of the unyielding hit, right, is getting less efficient. Because it gives you 34% of your armor as bonus. The 135 million I never did before. So it gives you 134% of your armor as damn, right? And, well, now I only have like 2,000 armor. So 30% of 2,000 is... Yeah, okay. So we're missing some damage there. Potential damage. That's more damage. You can feel it. Okay, so the answer to the problem, as I said before, is we need a Banishlo's Talisman as NEPs, right? Banishlo's Talisman as my boots, hands, or gloves. And then we need the space to play the Harmony of Abawaka, because that would make a big damage difference. The seasonal mechanics should appear in every type of content. Helltides, Sniper Dungeon. Oh, that anyways, Cosmin. That we don't have chaos portals inside the, like everywhere, right? That chaotic monsters couldn't, like, attack me here right now. It's kind of sad. Now, the thing is that they kind of, how do I say this now? And I think it's a big mistake. So they want to keep the pit pristine, right? The pit should be this always the same thing that you can test your build again, how quick this is, and so on, blah 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 bullshit. Where I feel like it would be way better if we had like the pit also be influenced by the seasonal mechanics, right? It would just make it more fun. Like we literally had the headless rotten thingies from the Witchtide event, right? From the witch season. And why did not all pit bosses get replaced by headless rotten dudes? It would have been so much cooler, right? We have these new type of bosses, and they're great and they're fun, and then they're like, yeah, but they're only in the Witchtide, and good luck, have fun, right? To never meet them again at some point. There's little things that, like, where you're just asking yourself, who's behind these decisions, right? Without an evaluation now, without saying Blizzard sucks or this dev's bad, who's behind that decision? Who put his brain power behind this? Is Craze of the Dead God not worth using and playing a Touch of the Death build? I can't tell you because I really have never messed with Touch of the Death. I'm sorry, Sand. I've not even looked at it, right? I couldn't even tell you what Touch of the Death doth right now, right? Like, what is the ability even remotely up to? Now, I have no clue, sir. Heavy apologies. It really do be like that. Okay, let's do one Infernal Horde. We still need to get a bunch more chaotic uniques, which is sad, but we're working on it. How's it going? Very good. Thank you for asking. I mean, I've been enjoying the journey with the Spiritborn, even though it's somewhat frustrating. And I can't wait for them to finally... So two things are going to get fixed, guys. Soulspires and Ambushing Hellborn. And that's actually pretty amazing because ambushing Hellborn are right now not worth the take, right? You take ambushing Hellborn and you barely ever get ambushed by Hellborn. So you kind of feel like, hey, why did I just spend points on this? It's worthless. And that together with the actual Soulspire is going to get fixed. And then I think the whole Infernal Hordes are going to be feeling way better. We still have to wait for Tuesday for that, which is a bit sad. But I think like if we have to wait for Tuesday, my Barbarian or Rogue might be able to experience this. Then I'm looking forward to see how much more Ether can we actually get when Soulspires work. Make a link for the build? Sadly not, sir, because we're still in the figuring out stage. So today is the final day of making this build work in a way that you don't need 20 billion chaotic uniques, right? So truly just sitting down and putting the pieces together, that kind of stuff. And then tomorrow morning, I'll have the fully flashed out guide that hopefully explains everything down to the little gritty detail. And most importantly, how to go from Torment 1 to Torment 4 with this build, and then also exist in Torment 4, which is Spiritborn's biggest issue. To actually exist in Torment 4. Nothing new from the 4th season, Conky. Well, I see that you're ignorant as fuck saying that. Sorry, brother. You say nothing new from the 4th season. You really have not paid a single point of attention, and I'm sorry, can't take you serious here. But if you would have said from the 6th season, you know, I could have at least respected you. Because that's when the game vastly changed, right? And when they brought out like the whole leveling change and torment change and everything. In a 3-6 ether run, the highest I've seen so far is like 4-9 ether. But it all comes down to the ether goblin waves, right? You either get the ether goblins or you're not getting them. Rick, howdy partner. Which Spiritborn build is this? Mine? Fine. What can I say? This is a evolution of the Evade Spiritborn. So you pretty much start with Evade Spiritborn and then you transition into this. It's all about overpowers and then overpowers. And then on top of these overpowers, I want even more overpowers. And then we're going to add a bit more overpowers on top. And the whole trick is that you obviously use up your whole Essence Globe over and over again. But the whole trick with using up your Essence Globe that people forget telling you every single time is that you also need enough resource generation to actually fill the globe back up again, right? Because the problem was, for me, for example, I would only fill up 90% of my Essence Globe after using it completely up. Well, guess what? 90% is not 100%, so you're not getting an overpower every second attack, you're getting overpower every fourth attack, and that's vastly weaker. Right? That's 100% less overpowers. And suddenly you're not doing the damage you're looking for, and you're kind of wondering, what's my Spiritborn ass, right? And for some reason, those little details are always missing in builds, right? Things that tell you why you're ass, apart from, like, your ass. It's tomorrow Rogue Day, either Rogue or Barb. The problem is Rogue has a really shitty Spirit Boon that I hate. Spirit Boon. Chaotic Power that I absolutely abhor. Colossal Fiends, let's go. I need to see how quick I can kill monsters. Use the aspect for the Vortex skill, no. What I'm currently using is the ultimate that allows me to reset my cooldowns if I spam the same spirit skill 3 times in a row, right? So I pretty much spam where I hold down my feathers, in case you don't see this, like I hold down my right mouse button, okay? Because I have infinite resource. I can never run out of resource, so I hold it just down. And since I play the skill points that would dash me instantly to enemies, I also instantly dash to enemies every single time, right? So that's kind of like nifty because I just get wherever I need to be at any given point. And then we're pretty much restoring our resource instantly, and we're restoring our cooldowns, and then we can like spam our actual cooldowns, so we can go for ulti, and that kind of stuff over and over again, and that kind of like works really good together. So yeah, that's what you pretty much see here in execution. And then obviously overpowers, and we appear as always dying because we're using the East Cornered, right? But we're not really dying, right? We were kind of like just almost dying. You could try Reign of Eris again. The biggest problem is that just the strongest rogue unique power is truly the one where you consistently move around, right? But I just stopped playing Evade Spiritborn because it was getting boring. And now Rogue has a power that says if you move and then move again and then move again, you get 70% more damage, 70% more damage, 70% more damage, 70% more damage, right? So you get tons of damage. It's insane how much damage you get. But do I really want to just move? Because it would mean you would have to like dash, reset cooldown, dash, reset cooldown, dash, reset cooldown, dash, reset cooldown, dash, like, and that all the time. And like, oh man, like, is that what I want to do? I really, like, I don't think so, right? And I might do an Orphan Maker build because Orphan Maker is the new item, even though Orphan Maker feels a bit weird because you have this gameplay where you artificially can't shoot, right? You shoot a shot and then you get a reload mechanic, and then you shoot a shot and get a reload mechanic, and you shoot. Chaos Wave. Lords. I mean, Lords would be 15 more ether per Lord. Shit, I need to take that. Screw the Chaos Wave. Should I try Sorg? Sorg is really strong. As soon as you get Mana Shield, you can't die. So, ta-da. I mean, like, generally, Sorg is amazing. You get into Torment 1, kill your first Bartek, pick up the Mana Shield, then you're Undying. Then you get yourself an Oaken's Catalyst or a Strike of the Stormhorn. And on top of being Undying, you do tons of damage, and then it's just a brilliant, good, fun ride. And that's it. That's how simple it goes. Then you got some scaling issues into the endgame, so when you then want to go for Pit 100, right, you got to start having perfect Masterworks and perfect Greater Affixes and that kind of stuff. But Sork into Torment 4 as a Torment 4 farmer, super brilliant. As a Pit pusher, it kind of loses, like, a lot of the appeal. But I'd probably do like another tier list of just like all the builds with like how do I say this now? With like their best role, right? Yeah, Sorg is one of the best tier 1 to tier 4 pushers next to Druid. Druid is also just simply amazing. Spiritborn, one of the most horrible Torment pushers, right? I mean, with a great power ceiling end of the day, but horrible for the idea of just pushing through Torment. Rogue and Barb I can't speak for. Necromancer was insane also for Torment pushing. I mean, you pretty much get to 60 Infernal Hordes, get yourself the alter the balance power, and suddenly you were also just suiting. Like you have no effing business. Kind of brilliant. Shred is not great for farming, but incredible for pit pushing. Yep, it's almost like every build has a good use, and that's why we have the armory for. I kind of feel like people keep forgetting that we have an armory, right? Where you can scale your character into multiple builds, and then you just press the button and you instantly swap. Like, you want to do the pit, you just swap over to your pit build. You want to do the Infernal Hordes, you swap over to it, right? I always have the feeling people forget that. Okay, Hellish Masses. No, I want to start with four things at the start. Hey, you can't hide chat in short mode, can you not? Honest question. I genuinely, I am not often in like YouTube streams myself because like I stream, so I don't have time to watch stream. So I'm not sure if you can't hide chat in a short stream. However, like in the future, short streams, quotation mark, won't exist like that anymore because we're obviously finally getting the overlap between shorts and I'm still supposed to destroy an etheric mass, but there is no etheric mass anywhere here. That like shorts and the horizontal streams are both blending together. I feel like the etheric events are somewhat bugged because I'm still supposed to kill an etheric mass that just simply doesn't exist. It was too fast. Okay, no goblin event chat, but sitting at the good ether, we like to see it. Oh, summon Hellborn? Nah. I'm a weirder. I like to have a carrot and only one build. There's nothing weird about that. I mean, like, I totally feel you there. It also has a lot to do with just not having to worry about things, right? Not having to use the brain power to carry multiple sets of equipment and like set it all up. You want to have one build that has the purpose of just doing everything. And no matter if the build is now most optimal for doing everything. So, yeah, weird. Don't want the bonus hassle. There is a lot of lords popping out. So happy that lords turned out to be the going theme for everything, right? The build definitely gets so much stronger with that Harmony of Abawaka. What's this game? Diablo, sir. Okay, Wicked, Enduring Lords, Exalt the Hellborn. No. We're gonna make the Ether Fiends have a chance to spawn in place of elites, and then I can just spawn random Ether Lords everywhere, right? Oh, 4 mosses and not a single one has a Lord inside. Okay, that's scam. I call scam. A single Lord inside. Bullshit. Big robbery, chat. Big robbery. And at least we get ambushed by 2 Hellborn. There's a Lord in here. There's no Lord in here. Oh, there's the world that came. Thank you for the YouTube guide and videos. They're helping a lot. Thank you for watching them, sir. I mean, I'm always surprised how many videos and guides we can get out of a season, right? Always a surprise to me, in a good way. Immortal? Yeah, I'm immortal. I can't die. So the thing is, I get more, so I have 3,000 max life, right? But I have so much barrier generation that I get more barrier than I have life. But if my gorilla is up, I also, I can't die. Okay, because the gorilla continuously replenishes my barrier. So I pretty much end up with more barrier than I could feasibly have at any given point, but that barrier also consistently just refreshes and refreshes and refreshes and refreshes, okay? Kind of like how it works. Okay, what do we got here? We got a Mother's Embrace, useless. And we got a okay. Okay, like, I understood the untarnished hatred for me as a person. Chat. Game just doesn't like me. It's fine. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. By the way, to all our vertical viewers, there's also horizontal stream running. Don't forget that. You can also get the full picture, not only a bit of the picture. Okay, I like how quick this was, though. So this was way better speed than before on the clearing of that. So GG, it's working. Let's try to get another Glyph Legendary for damage purposes. We've been posting the build, yes, Rukus. All the builds are getting a video, even if like Spiritborn has some scaling issues, right? Even if Spiritborn is hard to scale, and the video is gonna start with Spiritborn is a lie. Goddamn snake oil again, because it is, right? Every creator that showed you how amazing Spiritborn is just omitting the truth. They're only showing you the amazing endgame result without showing you the actual shitty journey to it. That's why we're struggling through this all, so we can get you the whole journey. Apparently, Rake is incredibly strong. Yes, but the problem with the Rake playstyle is, sir, that you're continuously going to be dish-dashing between and through opponents like this. Wop, 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 wop. So your whole screen is going to go wop, 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 wop the whole time. Before you start with a Rake build, like, check out videos on, like, high-end Rake gameplay, just to notice that you're probably going to hate it after, like, 20 minutes. The only reason why I focus currently on the Quill Volley over anything else is because it's actually a playstyle that just doesn't want to make you vomit. That doesn't want to make you like just yell at the screen and poke your eyes out. Right? So just as an FYI, helltides.com/pit for leaderboards. And then check out the high level rank gameplay. And just be like, oh no, someone killed you right now. I want to dissuade you. I want to pre-warn you that you're not putting in time. You might have regret putting in. Shred was a problem with motions like that as well. I mean, main reason I never played Shred. You know, they're just builds that are strong, but they're gameplay-wise shit. I mean, for example, there is also Death Trap Rogue. Death Trap Rogue's super strong, but you have to dash Death Trap, dash Death Trap, dash Death Trap. And even if you're fighting a boss, okay, so if you're fighting a boss as a Death Trap Rogue, you have to dash through the boss to Death Trap, to dash through the boss to Death Trap, and you can't just stand still and just spam Death Trap. You gotta go like back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, whoop, 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 whoop. And you can never, like, even if you're dashing through and putting your Death Trap out of his, like, range, it's still better than standing still because you're losing damage if you stand still. You are playing the Ravens, but you die to a monster's fart. You can use the Quave rune, you can drop Debilitating Roar and play the Barrier again, Earthen Bulwark, if you really feel like it. You can use, again, the Earthen Bulwark rune, as I said. You need full resistance, full armor. If you don't have full resistance, full armor, you'll always be squishy. If you want to feel tankier, you can do the trick where you actually use Earthen Strength as a bonus instead of going for the Companion thingy, but then you also need to thread in more Pulverizes. But there are a couple of ways to get more tanky. Actually mentioned in our last video. Is there a link for this build? Not yet, sir. Today we're gonna reach the level of power that I finally want to reach. Puddle Splasher. The Puddle Splasher was so good. I didn't even do it this season yet because, well, I've never got myself the chaotic unique I need. Sadly. Okay, canny, pop, pop, pop. So one more, then we got this leveled up and we can push that. Spiritborn in the last 2 seasons looks more like a secondary class where you need to level up a char before. Yes, Victor. It doesn't only look like that. This is exactly what Spiritborn is. It is a second citizen class that you dare not please to play as your very first class, because it will only lead to tears. Do you think 175 Paragon points is enough to reach Torment 4 easily with Spiritborn? No. It is a combination of not having enough armor, not having enough resistances, and not having enough damage, and then not having your glyphs activated. Spiritborn usually starts feeling good with 200 plus Paragon points because you can activate all the glyphs and at least get all the legendary nodes. Yeah. I spend a lot of time into, like, I spend a surprising amount of time in Torment 3 with the build. Because, like, you're literally forced until you find the respective pieces. Now, obviously, with the lessons I learned from maxing this out, I could progress faster through the Torment tiers, right? I was focusing a bit on the wrong items, like, I didn't get the Rod of Kapaleka fast enough, didn't use the Banisher's Talisman, I used the Banisher's Talisman wrong for this build, and a couple of things that all made this weaker than it should have been. However, Paragon points are king, Spiritborn, more than in other classes. You played Barb as your first class this season. Technically, Barb is good. I mean, I've not heard Barb players generally being unhappy because of the auto shouts. The auto shouts have been working very well for them. Supreme Barb this season, I don't know how good it scales. That's my biggest problem. I know Barb is strong again, or strong enough again, where you can have fun with Dust Devils, where you can have fun with Earthquakes and all that kind of stuff. Problem is that all the builds that are still strong are so heavily nerfed that they used to be stronger and you're playing neutered versions. So the main issue with Barb is it was just so neutered that you're not playing a single build that wasn't neutered, right? So you know you should be stronger, but Blizzard decided that you're not supposed to be stronger. That feels a bit bad because you just know you have to nerf, right? Barbers are the classes where you just know you can shop between the legs and you just gotta now deal with that. Like your daily bread and butter. Spiritborn? No, there's not Evade Spiritborn. Evade Spiritborn is fun for leveling, but the gameplay gets quite old quite quick. This is not Raid? No, this is not Evade. This is Feathers. Feathers! Actually get to the billions of damage today if everything works out. Food. Barrier, please. More barrier. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And done. Okay, let's legendary this one up. Headhunter rolling too. Cobalt will be so much better with the next patch. I mean, Cobalt is already great. It just feels nice. The feathers was an ability. It's Quill Volley. And you hurl out these feathers. The feathers make enemies vulnerable. And then Quill Volleys hurl out 3 additional feathers and deal 10% increased damage to each enemy per hit. So you kind of want to like shotgun enemies to hit them with as many feathers as possible. It's a bit the plan there. Oh, who did I want to... Oh yeah, we wanted to see how well this is going to go now with the changes. Which build would you recommend on Necro? The Soul Rift Necro. You get Torment 1, pick up Alter the Balance, Soul Rift, done. Anything else is bonus. You're going to play previous styles in order to enjoy D4? No. Each Diablo stands singular. However, in last year, I replayed every single Diablo from 1 to 3 into 4. And if you just play the campaigns, it's really worth it. It's really fun. It's really enjoyable. There's a great story behind it. And it kind of teaches you a lot about how the game kind of works all in all, right? Let's see if I can stand still in this poison pool with my barrier. Oh, I can't. Oh, I can't. It's like a clutch thingy. Okay, we did so much more damage than last time to him. Like, this is really good fight. What are we trying to get? A new Rod of Kapaleka. But I need to get a Kapaleka from Duriel. Why Rod of Kapaleka? Well, listen. I can always get a better percentage. Because the Rod of Kapaleka, what it does, for you to understand, it gives you critical strike damage 0.15 to 0.75 per vigor spent. And now I have 4-5, and I currently have 216 vigor. So we got 0.45, 0.45 times 216, right? So 97.2 is kind of nice, but if you have 0.75 times 216, you know? A little bit better, a little bit better. Oh, that's 3.9, 3.9. Oh, that's maximum resource. Shit. Because that's actually what I need, right? You kind of need the maximum resource on the Kapaleka. Why is that? I mean, as you can see, my resource is 26 here right now, out of 35 possible, right? And this is 36 maximum resource. So with the maximum resource on the Kapaleka, you're able to get more overpowers. It's quite nasty. Oh, that's core skills. And 60%. Wow, that's pretty good. Let's kill another one. From yesterday's video, would you say this brings Spiritborn back up your list? No, Mr. Rickus. This build is exactly the reason why the video exists. So in case you missed yesterday's video, it was all about the top 3 builds in the game and why Spiritborn is actually terrible. Despite being the #1 like build in the leaderboards, right? It's probably the worst character to play. For all the reasons that we mentioned earlier about like the shitty scaling and stuff. Come on, you can kill him! So this is exactly the reason video exists. Okay, give me another Kapaleka. Come on. Oh, that was a bit unlucky. That's a lot of Crown of Lucians. Like, a lot of Crown of Lucians that I really don't need. Now, am I going to try out... So, we got 6 left. Let me see this. I have 0.39 times 216, right? Is 84.24. And 216 times 0.45 was 97.2. But if I now have, instead of 216, if we're now sitting more at 240, actually, and that times 0.39, that would be less. So despite having the more maximum resource, which is actually a good thing, we would still end up with less damage. That's a true shame. So we're going to keep that Kapaleka for harder times, but not for anything recent. Okay. Guys down. Well, we could farm some more Duriels here. We get Shards of Agony, so we could... should we try to get a better Rod of Kapaleka? We should probably, because I really want to see what the damage looks like. Is it worth coming back this new season? I haven't played since January. Okay, listen. What is so amazing about this season? You have something called Chaotic Armors. Chaotic Armors can't be traded. Chaotic Armors are uniques that can appear. This is a Banished Lord's Talisman, right? That's usually an amulet. And this is the Harmony of Abawaka. That's usually a helmet. They can appear in different slots. They will be boosted, and they truly allow for a lot of interesting build variety. Now, since these items can't be... shared with anyone, and you have to grind them. It actually does create an intriguing chase to a degree where you finally need to actually play the game, right? You can't just use your wallet to just buy the most best items, right? You need to play the game to get the best items. And on top, Blizzard finally fixed duping, at least until recently for this season. So people have been actually not buying Duriel Belial mats en masse to get themselves unique. So this has been probably one of the healthiest seasons when it comes down to market overflow and in general the need to actually play the game correctly in all instances of the game instead of just like, you know, trading yourself to victory. Spiritborn is easy to gear? Absolutely not. And that kind of makes this season stand out, and I think like a lot of people are overlooking this. Obviously, if you haven't played the game much as of late, this is going to feel inconsequential and meaningless to you, right? It's very important. Like if you don't play a lot, if you haven't like noticed like the season, right? Why the changes like technically are making the game harder, but not actually harder. No, they're making it work as intended, and you finally get to play as intended because there are no more crazy shortcuts available. I think that's good, personally. I mean, it makes my life as a creator harder too, right? Because obviously, like, I made a video on my druid, I made a video on my sword while missing 2 greater affix items, right? I mean, my 2 key uniques were not greater affix. Fire, right? When was the last time that has happened? And still, the build was insanely powerful because, well, you know, skill. What can I say? I somehow got the kill on a helmet, didn't know it was possible. Yeah, so chaotic uniques, if they are able to be chaotic uniques, are always possible to end up in any of the armor slots. Okay, so they can be then from pants to helmet to boots to gloves to whatever. Just no amulets, rings, or weapons, right? For sure. Obviously, it's only 13 items per class, right? Not more. Yeah, this is a good wave here, chat. It's a good wave. Nuking these poor bosses left, right, and center, huh? I mean, the build has definitely taken a leap in strength here. Oh, no more enemies are spawning. That's kind of sad. Okay, 3 waves in, 200 ether. We like to see it. Oh, we get the puffing masses. This one's one of my favorites. It's gonna have masses poop out a lot of ether. Favorite season so far? Yeah, but I already know I'm gonna miss Chaos Armor tremendously. I'm not sure if Blizzard should make Chaos Armor permanent, if that would be healthy for the game. I might also not care. Because it's just like to the level that I really enjoyed Chaos Armor, right? At the start of the season, before we all played this, Chaos Armor was like, yeah, okay, it's gonna be fine, right? It's kind of funny. Builds also work without. But as soon as you get to play with it, you're like, oh, fuck, I really want this, and this is gonna be so cool. And if I could actually combine these uniques because of Chaotic Armor together, that'd be kind of hilarious, right? So, I'll be sad. And again, I've mostly been set every season now when we actually lose our powers, right? Because most times the powers were fire. We just gotta hope that they learn the right lesson from this, right? So that Blizzard understands why we like Chaos Armor. Like the theory behind the Chaos Armor, that the reason we like Chaos Armor is because it's creating a chase. A meaningful chase that's actually fun, that can't be bought, right? That can't be helped out by others. There's like a chase that you have to do. It's a very personal thing, right? No one can technically help you with that chase apart from obviously doing Infernal Hordes together, but you know what I mean. Oh, that's kind of like they understand that. And they're not like, so we understood what you liked about Chaos Armor, so I don't know. We removed it from the game, and any trace of it, and will never return. I hope only that such chase is also intended for set items. The problem with set items is that we need more slots. So right now, with the existing armor slots, set items wouldn't work, because where would they go, right? With uniques and mythics existing, and then set items on top, there would be too much choice, and like, it would be... I don't think it would work properly. If we now had a shoulder slot and a belt slot, maybe it could work, right? They're buffing Infernal Hordes in the patch. Yes, they're making Soul Spires finally work. So by increasing their range and by increasing the enemies that ambush you inside of Spires, so that's actually like a meaningful buff. It might not sound like one, but it is a meaningful buff. So they're truly doing something to make the boards more functional once again. That's important. Okay, this is like tellable for the Spiritborn because all the worms, they have no HP, right? So we all know worms, they don't have anything. They just fall instantly over. This is for Druid, like the perfect wave. Because Druid with Cataclysm just one-hits these worms screen wide and off screen wide. Not a good chaotic wave for this kind of build. Okay, 2 masses. Good more. raging over Soulspires. The problem is something like the Soulspire era should have never made it to live server. Like, I hate to be the guy because, you know, always give developers, like, a little bit benefit of doubt. But it's just literally like it's the season of the Infernal Hordes, and you had one of the main functionalities of the Infernal Hordes that everyone hates. Everyone hates Soulspires. Everyone hated Soulspires before. No one actually ever said Soulspires are great, right? And you somehow managed to screw that up. How? How is that? Like, the most hated mechanic in the game, and you make people hate it even more. Brilliant move. 10 plus 10 marketing. You want to try Spiritborn? Well, Spiritborn levels best with Evade Spiritborn. It's a specific way of playing Spiritborn where you don't actually use attacks anymore, where you simply evade and use then the Spirit Hall of the Eagle to hurt your enemies. And it's kind of like a fun playstyle because it does so much damage, just so unnecessary much damage, that you can suddenly just bump the difficulty up from normal to expert and just fly through the game on expert. And then you can even go for penitent difficulty at some point, like really, really early. It's truly atrociously stupid how very efficient it is. Okay, we got Etheric Masses reform now, Chad. And at the same time, on top of Etheric Masses reforming, we have them. The more Etheric Mass stuff we take, the more ether is inside an Etheric Mass. We can really get like the best of the best here right now. Hit a wall, tier 3. Yeah, I have the solution for you, Asian. I gotta make that video tomorrow where we talk about like what actually is the biggest problem with Spiritborn and how you overcome them easily. I mean, easily with the right amount of farm and the right items, but I figured out the puzzle without needing chaotic uniques, right? Mr. Sarcastronaut, thank you for the Prime subscription and support. Welcome to the Pony Hop. So this is basically a good class until high pits. No, this is a terrible class until high pits. This is a good class in high pits. Like, as soon as you get there. Spiritborn is extremely farm intensive, so it's a good class to get into Torment. It's a good class to go for Torment 2, and then it's a terrible class to go into Torment 4. Then it becomes a good class again after you finally put in the pieces together, right? So after you solve the puzzle, suddenly Spiritborn feels good again, but the time to solving that puzzle feels horrible. Especially if you're poking in the dark and don't know what you're doing. Then you're going to be like, this is the worst class in the game, and I hate life, and I hate Rob for showing me a cool Spiritborn, and like, what the fuck? Never told me how terrible this was. If you like farming, it's perfect class for you, honestly. There's a lot of like, if you actually like the challenge, okay? Spiritborn is for someone who likes the challenge or who already has a character. Simple as cake. So either you like the challenge or you have a character already, and then you feel like, yeah, we want to do this. No, Masters have a chance to spew out Soulspires. This is technically one of the worst ones yet in existence, but the reason we take this is we just want more things inside the Masters, because again, more things inside the Masters gives more ether per Mass. So them giving us a Soulspire is just, I guess, a cherry on top. Without actually being a cherry. So doing Sword of Necro, how to get more armor resistance while keeping my aspects unique powers? You should use Rahir. Rahir is the mercenary, and that gives you either armor resistance. Then you should use the Essence of the Mountain, Incense of the Mountain, and the Incense of Resistance, and both of these are going to tremendously help you to keep this up. Generally speaking, this is a season of instances again, where using instances is not an option, it is mandatory. Because of how useful they are. Okay. Hello, sir. No, I like how much damage is just floating out here. It works so well. So what time is it already? I gotta have a bit of an eye on the time because we currently have auntie at home to take care of the children. While we play video games, Chan. Okay, everyone, what could this chess piece finally be? What are we hoping for? Ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-bum. It is another Crown of Lucian. Holy moly. I wonder if you could use the Crown of Lucian in a meaningful way. Because the thing is that we right now, you have Quill Volley, right? And you shoot Quill Volley, and I don't know if we could make the vigor cost matter. Probably not. All these tiny points of more armor is something you actually want and need to build towards too. Played Spiritborn Quill Volley from 160, and as you said, going from tier 2 and 4 needs a lot of farming, time, patience, and a bit of luck and drops. Yes. The problem is that Spiritborn at some point only scales over chaotic uniques. Okay? This is generally the biggest issue. So right now, again, I could play a Banished Lords. I need Banished Lords as pens. I could play a normal Harmony, a Jason Shell. I have a Pain Gorger, so they're all good. But like the real damage would be getting a Sebasontak and a Vushnak Paw as chaotic armors. And there's no big alternative to that. It's a little bit, I gonna need to get that, right? I feel like my build fails if I have to use pods. Technically, yes. Practically, no. Considering the amount of chaotic uniques and everything you need, Mike. So I get your feeling that you don't want to use instances and so on over here or whatsoever, right? But the reality is just a very simple, like... That's what they're there for, you know? And they don't exist for fun. They exist for a reason, and exactly for that reason. During losing the movement speed, well, technically Spiritborn doesn't care about losing movement speed because you dash from opponent to opponent, right? Now that's a big technically because obviously you do care about losing movement speed, as losing movement speed just feels horrible. Okay, let's do only a 8 Infernal Horde and try to get the ether we need. Wow, that's terrible. Let's take Fiends, because ambushing Hellborn is still bugged, or not working as intended. And I'm happy when patch notes kind of like back up your feelings, right? I knew that the Hellborn weren't just ambushing enough, right? I knew that deep down. It was just not feeling it. And now in the patch notes, seeing like, oh yeah, we like, you know, we buffed the ambushing Hellborn to actually appear more often. I'm like, yeah, I knew it. Oh shit. Knew it from the beginning. You can't hide this from me. Building not out yet, sir. We're in the final throes of optimization. How do you make your evade cooldown super duper low with mastering and not have Sebasontak anymore? Sir, Sebasontak has nothing to do with evade. So I'll explain why Sebasontak. Okay, why do I want Sebasontak? Why is Sebasontak needed? Why is it so amazing? What does it do? Okay, I can explain. Puffing masses. Yeah, puffing. Let's, like, we can do this after the wave, probably. Talk a bit about Sebasontak. Okay, the boons we have taken are not the most amazing ones yet. Maybe they could be better down the line. You know what, I wonder if using Moonrise and adaptability would actually be more worth it than using unyielding hits currently. Because unyielding hits gives me more damage, right? Don't get me wrong. As soon as you have Capaleka, might actually be able to just use adaptability and Moonrise, right? Gotta actually check. Like I'm genuinely like it just hit me. It took me kind of a while to comprehend that. A bit stupid, man, honestly. Okay, that's weak 2 waves, like 73, huh? Pretty terrible. We should take the Mosses, that would be brilliant, but I need to take the Devil. So why do we want Supersonic? Okay, Supersonic stacks your basic skill deal 100% more damage, okay? And it has your basic skill deal double damage, and it has 6 ranks to follow through. Follow through is this skill that says your basic skills deal 6% more damage, and it's 2% more ranks. So 6 ranks more is also another 12% more damage. And then, like, with the Master working, obviously getting a bit more out of this, but most of basic skills deal double damage. So the thing is that the Rod of Capaleka says your core skills are now additionally basic skills and free to cast. So my actual Quill Volley is now a basic skill. This also brings then up the question, would it be better to change an aspect? And come with me now. Does the game ever like due to your build? No. So we are currently playing the aspect of Quill Volleys that says Quill Volley feathers explode at their apex and return to where they were cast, both dealing 80% of their normal damage, or 58%, which is not bad. But since my basic skill is now my core skill is now a basic skill, you have 2 aspects. One is called the aspect of Moonrise. Moonrise says, damaging an enemy with a basic skill grants you 4% attack speed, 10 seconds, taking up to 5 times, and reaching maximum blow you into blood rage, you get 60% damage and 15% movement speed and all that kind of stuff. So, technically, this is actually better. I just don't know. Then, you also have currently, casting a Gorilla skill increases your weapon damage by 34% of your armor for 3 seconds. Maximum bonus is 1500 weapon damage. And we currently only have 2000 armor, so 2000 armor is only a 600 damage bonus, which is not that much. So the question would rather be, what is with aspect of adaptability? Because the aspect of adaptability says, basic skills generate 5 additional primary resource once per skill. Basic skills deal 0.5 increased damage for each point of primary resource. You have up to 500 resource. So now we have obviously 216 resource, and 216 resource times 0.255555 is another 118% bonus damage. So what would be better now?
Let me show you.
Chat. What would be better? What's the best way to get up to Side of Forgotten Souls? Legion events. Legion events and normal Nightmare dungeons. I've gotten like 100,000 up to side by just doing Chaos Rift Nightmare dungeons. Okay, I say normal Nightmare dungeons. Chaos Rift Nightmare dungeons. So let's see how high the damage gets now. We all know how much damage we've been dealing mostly. 427 million. Yeah, I haven't seen 427 million before, Chad. So these 2 aspects now, more damage. Proven. Interesting. Who would have guessed? And my attack speed is vastly higher, right? So that alone is kind of interesting because we get like more attack speed from the Moonrise. And I think Moonrise is also attack speed cap number 2. What is attack speed cap number 2? Well, you have an attack speed cap 1 and 2. And attack speed cap 2 is bonus to 1. So if you have 100% attack speed and then you actually get more than 100% attack speed with certain aspects, then you have up to 200% attack speed. Well, we have Shell, though, right? But if it only like it needs a greater affix to armor. Another Devil? I hate taking double Devils, but it seems like the way to go. The problem I have with taking double Devils is that they don't progress what we're doing, right? They're like 100 ether and that's it. It's like, congratulations, you just get 100 bonus ether. You are... right? You're the chosen one, and or not. Good shell. Yeah, I'm currently just using shell for the bonus cooldown reduction. That's kind of it. Not even for the actual armor. But I guess the aspect of adaptability and Moonrise, they both just like work way better. I mean, damage just get definitely increased. Okay, now we take the... Do we take the Colossal Fiends, guys, or do we go for the Chaotic Wave, right? Chaotic Wave, and we could be at the Ether already. I just created Spiritborn because it looks fun. The problem with Spiritborn is trying to figure out how to play Evade Spiritborn. That's the only tricky thing. Like, once you understand how Evade Spiritborn works, you're good to go until Torment 2. Issue with Evade Spiritborn is that technically the most efficient way to play it is by bind the key to attack in place. What is attack in place? Attack in place is this here. When I stand still and I attack in place without actually attacking anyone. And like usually some skills always attack in place. Like for example, Pulverize always attacks in place. But other skills like for example Thunderpike usually need an enemy to attack. Now Thunderpike is the skill though that reduces your evade cooldown, right? And if you force Thunderpike to attack in place, you can pretty much attack in place to reset your evade cooldown to then evade, to then attack in place, to then evade and attack in place. And it allows you to kind of frame your attacks better, if that makes any sense. Mossy Mosses, they can reform on death. I've been watching you since season 1 of Diablo, and I'm gonna say I love your content. Thank you for all the info you've given all the season played. Mimic, dankeschön. Not planning to stop. I gotta say, Diablo has been one of the more interesting games to cover because it has been such a wild ride, right? So Diablo has not been all sunshine and rainbows. There have been seasons that have been like more exhausting. There have been seasons that have been more interesting, right? Every season has been having its good, bad, and ugly. And obviously the community has been good, bad, and ugly, right? Sometimes you have a bunch of happy people, sometimes you have a bunch of frustrated people, and it's kind of like, it's intriguing. I gotta say now after 10 seasons, we mostly have the nice people left. I mean, there's always the occasional nut jobs that are like, D4 bad! What, anyone is still playing this dad game? Play Last Epoch instead. You know, like standard people that appear randomly in the internet, gremlins. But honestly, at this point, we're kind of left with the people that actually like the game, right? We all know that the game has its fault. We all know the game has its problem, but we're all in this beautiful, abusive relationship where we kind of like Diablo, like because of the problems, I guess. With the problems, like it's just part of the deal, right? Just figured out if you want to enjoy Diablo, you just got to understand that like developers are not the best. The game has its flaws. It takes a while for Diablo to get things right. They might do things 4 times wrong before doing 1 time right. But yeah, I mean, they'll get there eventually. After a while. And then they'll fleece us for another expansion. So, that's that. That's just always been Diablo. None were perfect at start. Yeah, but is that really an excuse? Right? You would say, like, sure, no Diablo was perfect at start, but shouldn't they, after 4 Diablo parts, maybe have figured out a formula? Obviously, gaming changes. That's very important. Gaming changes. ARPGs change. The preferences of people change. The update neediness of people changes, right? Doing a live service game is fucking hard nowadays. I mean, people don't want season every 6 months. People want season, like, every 2 months. Right, but people want season right now. I mean, we're pretty much like in week 3 next week of this season, and people are like, like, where's the update? They're just get so much stronger since last time I played. Yeah, the chaotic powers are nasty. I mean, you gotta understand that some of these chaotic powers, one gives me 180% bonus damage, the other one gives me, my druid gives me 800% bonus damage. On your sword, you're getting like 1,000% bonus damage. So that inevitably leads to quite some numbers. Right? That's right. Okay, gotta say the etheric. Oh wow, triple, quad respawn, chat. Dude, did you just see that? There was almost 100 ether just from that quad respawn. Let's go. That was pretty cool. I like that. That's people that play all day. Not everyone can and wants to do that. Exactly, Shringle. Coming back to my YouTube comment where Avira was telling me that he's kind of disappointed at how few Paragon points I have because he has more than me. And I'm like, sir, that's not a disappointment in me. That's like, you should be questioning your gaming behavior. You're out farming all the content creators. No, that's not a me problem. That's a permanently online problem, maybe. Okay, what do we have? What do we have, chat? We got one chaotic unique, which is actually really sucky. I think in Torment 4, he must drop 2. And there's a flicker stab. Oh my lord. Sadness. Oh, sorry. I almost forgot to take this. Legendary Moss offering plus respawn. Dude, respawn is so cool. Like, you get the respawn, and then you have the other things can pop out, and you go like, boop, 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 boop. Okay, let's push some pits to get all the glyphs 46, that we have that out of the way. Level up my boots to the next masterworking stage. I don't want to kick out Jason Shell. Okay, I got 20,000 warp. Interesting. I wonder. 65. Can I get a spark? I just recently got a spark. I think I can craft another unique, but I think I can craft another mythic, but I just don't need one. Yeah, more interested in crafting a chaotic unique than crafting a mythic. Like, hey, how about you let me craft like a chaos unique? Right? And can I use my sparks to craft like something? Maybe you could use a spark to transform an item into a chaotic unique. I think about it, right? I could get a Sepasontac, then I use a spark and I transmute the Sepasontac from a normal unique into a chaotic unique, random chaotic unique. So it could be a helmet, it could be a chest, it could be oh, that would be cool. Because right now there's a lot of struggle. People are pretty much like they're not dropping the chaotic uniques they're looking for, right? And I'd rather like sacrifice my spark for that. Okay, chat, we couldn't do a pit 65 in like it was 4 minutes before, and now pit 65 is looking more like a 2-minute endeavor. It's pretty cool, good change, and that's all aspect wise. So what do we do, chat? After picking up Capaleco, we put up the aspect of adaptability, and we put up the aspect of Moonrise. Both of these make me vastly stronger. Funny how they do though need instances and everything. Should you buy the seasonal spark from the Visjector vendor to do what you're saying? What do you mean? So with PoE2, PoE2 is doing great. I mean, they just brought out a really big patch that has you either completely frustrated about the game and super hyped about the game. Because they kind of fixed the end game scaling, but it's still not good. So they're kind of like trying to cater to 2 audiences at the same time and somehow manage to piss off both. I don't know how Path of Exile manages it, so like, you know, but both halves of the equation are not completely happy. I mean, it might be that, or Path of Exile players are just generally unhappy. I can't say. Chef, yeah, possible. I mean, however the design would fully look like, where you would get the seasonal spark from, but it could be interesting. I like those higher numbers. So Moonrise and Adaptability doing very well. I still want to get a Sapasontek with a greater affix to resource, and I want to get one with 0.75%. Let's be fair. As a new ARPG player from PoE2 launch, I'm enjoying it. It's a good one, Ropies. I personally think it's a good patch, but I tend to also look at things as good and not as bad, right? I mean, when I personally look at a patch note, my first question is, how much fun is this? And not, like, how fucking miserable am I? I forget to level my glyphs, huh? Yeah, I forget to level my glyphs. Why do most builds go for bonuses to note glyphs rather than only just crit damage glyph? I mean, most builds get at least one crit damage glyph. The crit damage glyph you want is always the glyph that also multiplies up your crit. So, for example, Spirit gives me crit damage and it multiplies up my critical strike damage, right? Actually, Spirit does not multiply my critical strike damage, which is interesting. I always thought it does that on Spiritborn as well. On all the other classes, it multiplies up the critical strike damage, but that's the one you're usually looking for, right? The one that multiplies up your crit strike damage multiplier. Get more critical strike damage. Okay, we should be able to finally kill Duriel a bit quicker. Last time it took us like too long to meaningful kill him. We had to like go through his awkward phases, and it was really no fun. No, we still have to go through his awkward phases. Side phase, we're done. I mean, at least we can kill this thingy here fast. Last time we were here, like when we're still scaling this, right? We couldn't even kill these guys here fast, so we're like in an awkward position. Okay, give me Kibaleka. Problem is, I only need a Kepaleka. I need a Kepaleka with a greater affix. Right, 0.69% Kepaleka. That's exactly what we're looking for, but we want that one with more, and then a little bit more on tippity top. I mean, seeing the blow with the vampire skills. I mean, the vampire skills were great. I mean, luckily, a lot of them are integrated as powers nowadays. In case you don't know that, I'm only powers aspect. When we're playing the aspect of Moonrise and Adaptability, I think both of those used to be vampiric powers. And in Moonrise was definitely a vampiric power. I don't know if I remember correctly about Adaptability. That one used to be a vampiric power as well. Okay. Give me Belial. Come on, chat. We're gonna take this as a positive. Now we can kill Belial. Get more Betrayer Hus. Kill Daddy Belial. And get ourselves a Sepasontek potentially. 2 Betrayer's Husk and a Quarterstaff greater affix and a chaotic armor. That's actually pretty good. Okay, so Capaleka is 0.63, and the ranks to Vigorous. We don't need the ranks to Vigorous, but it is better than what I have here, so it's already improved, right? And we got Pain Gorger Gauntlets. That is not actually bad. Gonna keep them. How many more sparks do I have? I have... Let's do one more and then do one Belial, okay? Is Rogue worth playing in Season 10? If you like dashing around, or if you like a weird reload mechanic, Rogue is actually worth it. Well, those are two things that you're gonna like before, right? Diablo could double the size of the skill tree. It wouldn't become more complex. Nah. They could certainly do something to the skill tree and it would be like fine. Ha! We could kill him before Chad. Finally. It was vastly more convenient. If it's zoom ball and dashing around, the dashing around of Rogue is a bit different. What I recommend, so if you generally ask yourself if a build is worth it, now take this with a caveat. I recommend you to go on helltides.com/pit, right? And then you can look at some of the top builds, and then you get to decide, is this a playstyle I want? So this is, for example, a top finishing, sorry, German adverts. This is a top finishing Death Trap Rogue. The problem is you need to play like this. So you need to consistently dash and never stop dashing. Even if you're later in the boss fight, so this is how you have to fight. And that's all because of the chaotic power that gives you way more damage when you dash around. So you're pretty much dashing out of the damage range, right? Dashing away from the boss to randomly, hopefully put something roughly inside, like right here, to do some, like, you can never stand still. Standing still is death. Not death. Standing still is minus damage. So you like that? Play Rogue. Or you could play the Orphan Maker, but you get my drift, hopefully. Okay, we got the Capaleka, yeah. That's how I often myself decide if I want to play something, by the way. By looking at these kind of builds and then be like, I'd rather shoot myself. Okay, we want core skills to, core skills to hit twice. So that one needs to be like first masterwork, then preferable second masterwork, or resources. Oh, nice. The critical strike damage is so-and-so. So we can destroy this now. And like, you would think we're not going to do much more damage, right? Because this is only 0.63. But again, we have 216 resource times 0.45. That is 97.2. And 216 times 0.63 is actually 136% more damage. So that's a 40% damage increase just like that. This is actually pretty good. You've just been using Mobalytics. Mobalytics is great, don't get me wrong. The pit leaderboard is kind of like, there's not all builds there, okay? So none of my builds is actually in the pit leaderboard. This has nothing to do with my builds not being able to be in the pit leaderboard, or I am too bad for the pit leaderboard. I just don't care enough, right? Doing high pit finishes is extremely boring. Playing high pits is extremely boring. And I usually stop at pit 100. Like my druid build farms pit 100 in under 2 minutes. Like it's 1 minute and 30. It would be a perfect build to pretty much just farm yourself 300 Paragon points if you wanted to. But I don't actually care about like diving deep into the pit because it's painful. Therefore, you will find builds in there, but it's usually the super sweaty try-hard builds, right? With the perfect masterworks and everything. But it can at least give you an inkling for how things feel. For example, if you're looking for Spiritborn builds, you won't find a single build that you can emulate. Because they're all super end stage builds that need at least 3 to 4 chaotic uniques, and that need to be perfectly those chaotic uniques, or you suck. The highest we've seen so far was 427 million with this build. So let's witness a higher damage hit, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if enemies would actually have enough HP. Problem is everything dies so quick that I don't see like the big numbers. And we don't get to witness those. Things just pop like pinatas. Any runes I can buy? Nah, sir. I got basically every rune once, and that's about it. I am rune starved as they go. No, I died. That hasn't happened in a while. I was zooming a bit too hard, and I got punished for it, Chad. I didn't wait for my gorilla to give me the barrier I needed. Sorry. What do the orange number mean? Orange numbers overpower. And I only display the orange numbers because those are that's my highest source of damage, but it's also for benchmarking reasons to know how high does the damage go and how frequent does the damage go. Because right now I have a trig to overpower every second attack, and usually you wouldn't overpower every second attack. And that's what we're applying with the Benchmark Talisman and the Rod of Kapaleka and Ring of Midnight Suns and all that kind of stuff. To like go for... Oh, ring with 2 greater affixes. Nice. Okay, let's upgrade this. Hey guys, yet no Wayne. We've been finding out new things, new aspects, new everything. That's been boosting us quite nicely. Oh, that's Band of the First Breath. I can eat my fat tushy. Get the last glyph, or the second to last glyph upgraded. Then let's do some more. 35. Do 70. I'm determined to get Spirit Wife Necro going. You can do that, sir, but it doesn't work anymore. Like, the only reason Spirit Wife Necro worked was because of the functionality of the Blood Artisan's Cuirass, but they actually changed the functionality of that item. So no matter how hard you try, you cannot emulate something that just doesn't work anymore. Like, it's not like we just gave up. Like, they just simply stopped having it work. Sadly. Barry, how much longer are you going to be? We have another hour and a bit for the stream. Currently, we got Auntie here to take care of the children because the wife is at a concert. And it was my daughter's birthday party. She had birthday yesterday, but it was like her children's birthday today. So they're like, I later have to do a cinema evening with them, as promised. Some popcorn, you know. Watch K-pop Demon Hunters for the 4th time now. But what can I say? They enjoy it. I don't mind it. I guess blame ADHD, guys, right? Watching one movie 400 times? I don't care. Right? I played the same pit 400 times in a row. What do I care about watching the same movie 400 times in a go? It's good, though. It's good, though, Patronus. Yeah, I'm not complaining, right? I'm not a hyper fan, but I won't complain. There are worse things to watch 400 times. But it's actually interesting. So I don't know if you have children, chat, but like I keep rewatching movies with my children they already watched when they were younger, because they are now smarter, right? And their brains have more developed, so they actually watch movies different now. You know, you probably remember this when you watched a movie as a child, right? And you think the movie was great, or like you didn't understand the deeper meaning of a movie, and then you actually watch it as that was 1 billion of damage, chat. We did 1 billion. Then you watch it as an adult and you kind of notice, oh my fucking god, like, this is a horrible movie. It's about war crimes, right? Or the good guy is actually the bad guy. What is happening? And suddenly it's opening your eyes and you understand more things. And it's kind of funny to watch like your 7-year-old come to these realizations, right? In some of the children movies and the hidden adult messages that are in there. Insane you lost your boomer accent. Training, sir. Just pure training, and then a little bit more training, and then even more training. And anyone can lose their weird ass accent. As a German, it's relatively easy. Losing the grammar is harder. I think it's probably way harder for like Spanish, French, something like that, because like there's more, we got more je ne sais quoi in your accent, right? When we Germans just sound like imbecilic when we when we speak foreign languages, like we just sound stupid. So we just gotta sound less stupid. That's it. But we don't have to, like, you know, we don't have to make our accent less hot to sound great. It's more funny that movies I watched as a child are now forbidden for children. I mean, there are a lot of movies that my parents showed me when I was young, including Disney movies, where I'm like, these are not children friendly at all. These are fucking scary movies. I mean, have you ever watched Aladdin recently? How goddamn scary Aladdin is in the first hour? I mean, Jafar turning into that old geezer inside the prison, like crooked teeth and everything. He looks horrifying. The whole genie lamp thingy going like all red, screen black, everything, dramatic music, flashing lights, everything. Right? You're like, what the fuck? Like, turn it off. We're not watching Aladdin. I mean, in my memory, it's like, oh yeah, Robin Williams as the genie. It's so cool. I love Aladdin. It's such a cute movie. And there's the tiny monkey and the tiger and the princess. Yeah, but no. It's like, you know, they're trying to behead that poor guy in the streets, you know. And there's a lamb, and everyone's burning to death, and, you know, that kind of stuff. Then Aladdin gets sank into the ocean and is about to die. After he gets kidnapped, right? And then like, you know, Jafar turns Jasmine into his sex slave. You're like, oh, let's not watch Aladdin. Aladdin, by the way, sorry. In German it's Aladdin. In English it's Aladdin. I had to learn that the hard way. I mean, there's definitely good Disney movies that are not just completely horrifying, actually, and children friendly. But most of them are really not, like, unless your child is like 10 plus. Nah. I can't wait for the quality of life patch Tuesday. Honestly, if I wasn't a creator, I would just stop playing until Tuesday to then go play more Tuesday. But I'm a creator, so I'm playing right now. But by the way, chat, in case you missed it, we just did 1 billion damage. So we finally have the scaling under control. We're going places. The new, like, we pretty much went from 400 million max to 1 billion. And that all because we got the bigger Kapaleka now. It's like how much it mattered. You were afraid of Hansel and Gretel? Oh, that's the same in English. Just without the Hansel and Gretel is terrifying. I mean, like, if you look at all the old Grimm fairy tales, I have an old Grimm fairy tale book, the original, right, with the original stories. They're all brutal. I mean, they were supposed to be brutal because they were, like, supposed to carry a message, right? But then you have, like, Max and Moritz, who used to play pranks on everyone, and at the end of the story, they get put in, they fall into the mill, and they get ground into flour, I think, and die. So moral of the story is, like, you die at the end. Right? I think a bunch of children also get murdered then by villagers because they're taking it too far and that kind of stuff, you know? So, yeah, yay! Fairy tales. The guy online somewhere? No, not yet. But we pretty much managed to do this, and you only need one single chaotic unique, chat, for this. Okay. What is the chaotic unique? You need Banished Lord's Talisman. That's sadly non-negotiable. I mean, like, so you can play to this point without a Banished Lord's Talisman, right? But at some point you need it to really scale your damage. So you don't need a Sepa Sontak, or you don't need like the Rod of Kapalake and the Vushnak Pa, right? You don't need all these chaotic uniques. It's just a Banished Lord's Talisman. And then it's just normal uniques on the tippity top of it, right? And that's kind of like happy times, because I wanted to make a build that feels good, that does 1 billion of damage, without like needing all the crazy amount of things, because I hate that. Right? I still don't have, like, I have gotten like 30 chaotic uniques, and I still haven't seen a Vushnak Pa or Sontak or Kapaleka or anything. So, yay. Let's get it upgraded. Wibbity wobbity. I kind of want to play Revenge, guys, because dealing Thorns damage increases the damage I deal to enemies by 15%. The problem is, do I do Thorns damage somehow at some point? But do I have like 1 Thorns damage? Because that's like the problem. I have 0 Thorns. Wasn't there like a way to get Thorns with the Spiritborn just like that? Could I not get like here like 3 Thorns or something? Here, gain 120 Thorns. Now I have Thorns. Activate Armored Height, grants you maximum resolve, increase your Thorns by 400. Yeah, I remember we get Thorns like that. See, this is the only reason why we're playing Revenge, because Revenge, like, dealing Thorns damage to enemies increase all damage taken by 1% up to 15%. The problem is they need to hit you like a lot of times, right? I don't use the Gorilla Spirit Hall. We use the Gorilla Spirit Hall here as second for the Unstoppable. Did I miss your Mage Hydra endgame guide? No, we only have a Hydra from last season, but that one still holds up. Hasn't changed much. So right now, just as a heads up for the people, like, I don't have the guide yet, but we can talk about this quickly. So we're currently playing the Rod of Kapaleka. Rod of Kapaleka uses all your vigor. We have 216 to do a super hit that gets boosted by 0.63% for vigor you used. Problem is, you need to restore that vigor. That's why we have Ring of the Midnight Sun. So we use up all our vigor, then we restore the vigor. What you have to make sure is that you have enough vigor regeneration that the Ring of Midnight Suns, together with the vigor regeneration, boom, gets you all the way up to 100% resource again. So you're going to use all your resource up, bam, you get back with the Ring of Midnight Suns. Then you get the Banished Lord's Talisman, and the Banished Lord's Talisman uses then 275 resource, bop bop. Every second hit is a critical strike overpower. Super good. And due to using up all our resource and restoring it and using it and restoring it and restoring it, right? A lot. Now, we did use the Pain Gorger's Gauntlets to get us 8 ranks to basic skills. Why 8 ranks to basic skills? Because our Will Volley is a basic skill and a core skill because of the Rod of Kapaleka. Works really good. And currently, we also use the Harmony of Abawaka. The thing is, I want the Harmony of Abawaka as my actual helmet, right? And then the Banished Lord's Talisman as my pants. I have 2 Chaos Armors, but you don't need them. So that's what I'm trying to say is, right? Optimally, I would now get Sepa Sontak as a Chaos Armor too. That would be insane. Then I would instantly do 10 billion damage. Probably. Maybe 5, right? But if I get this one, if I get Sepa Sontak now, I have the chance for basic skills to deal double damage. I get my basic skill 100% more damage, so twice the damage, right? And 6 ranks to follow through for even more damage. And that would be insane instead of my boots, for example. Where do you get the Chaotic Armor? Infernal Hordes. And Infernal Hordes needs to be Torment 3. Because Torment 2 is not guaranteed, Torment 3 is guaranteed. Then, obviously, Infernal Hordes helps. Plus, if you go for a Whisper, Tree of Whispers, if you get the chest, the Chaos chest, guys. So in case you didn't know this, there's the Chaos Cache, the Chaotic Cache of blah, blah, blah. That one drops Chaos Armor. I think it's guaranteed. The Greater Chaos Cache always drops Chaos Armor. It sounds stupid because why would the Greater Chaos... Yeah, it's the Greater Chaos Cache. Suck it. That's why it drops Chaos Armor. Usually I would never take the Greater Cache of Chaos because I'd rather take chest pieces or whatever, but the Greater Cache of Chaos has Chaotic Armor. Guaranteed. Okay. Favorite dude also has chaos armor. Yep. You can gamble your obolts for chaos armor. You can get chaos armor from normal nightmare dungeons. So if you finish a nightmare dungeon, there could be chaos armor. If you finish a chaotic nightmare dungeon, there could be chaos armor. The lair bosses can drop chaos armor. That is super rare though. I think I've dropped 4 chaos armor from that so far. Nightmare Dungeon Escalation has a good chance for chaos armor too. So actual Astaroth chaos armor. However, the best is 8 wave hordes and then Bartok. I think that tier 4 Bartoks only drops 1 chaos armor is bullshit. I'm sorry. Tier 4 Bartok should always drop at least 2 chaos armor and everything else is scam. And I will die on this hill. It's a very comfortable hill to die on. I think, like, it's tier 4. It's Torment 4. The final tier. And I get 1 single chaotic armor. Great. I know that Bartok can drop 8 chaotic armors. Don't get me wrong. I know that. But he should just standard drop too. So better play tier 3 or tier 4. Tier 4. If you can play tier 4. So optimally, if you can do tier 4, 8 wave hordes, and you can get 666 ether, perfect. If you can play 6 wave hordes and get 666 ether, even more perfect. But the only character that can do that for me right now is my druid. My druid is the only character that can do 6 wave hordes for 666. That's because he's OP. And he hits screen wide. And he's just nasty super farmer, right? The Spiritborn sadly can't do that. The Spiritborn does not hit screen wide. The Spiritborn does not have 5,000% movement speed. So, yeah. Can sadly not live up to what the druid can do this season. But it is good. Henry, I'm happy I could bring you in the mood for D4 again. Give it like 30 minutes and then start yelling at the screen. Now, I gotta personally say I really enjoy Diablo 4. Not because I'm just a Diablo 4 content creator. I actually have fun playing the game, right? Sure, sometimes leveling can be a bit dull because it's pretty much like a mechanical process for me at this point, as I have like it down to the dot on how I level. Still though, I like the leveling. Oh, pants, chaotic pants. Let's go. Still though, I like the leveling. Okay, what do we have here? Chaotic pants. Paingorger gauntlets again. I don't know if you want to know how many Paingorger gauntlets I have at this point. It's too many. See, there's... So, to the topic here, there's one and there's another one. Yeah, let's go. What pit level 70? We could go higher Wookiee, but for leveling the glyphs, it's not needed. I think right now we could do an 80, maybe 85 too. However, I would prefer to go higher with the Sepason tag. I don't see a reason to go much higher than 70, right? However, again, I could do an 80, 85. I mean, we can do the 70 in 3 minutes, right? So obviously we can do an 80. Still, like that would obviously take more time. Not much more time because we're over damaging opponents. I mean, we do billions of damage in Overpower right now, so that's good. Our opponents don't even get to feel the damage we can deal to them. Right, because opponents die too quick. The good thing is that survival-wise, it doesn't matter if our opponents would survive. We are permanently unstoppable, ergo we can't get stunned, we can't get frozen, we can't get stopped, right? And we always have Variant. Always have Variant, and we have plenty of that. Kind of very useful. I've gotten 7 mother embraces, dude. The amount of mother's embraces I have is atrocious. It's a good like unique when you pretty much have nothing else and you need some kind of resource restoration. Really doesn't hurt to have. 20 hours on this character. Most hours of all the characters yet, and weakest in comparison, but that's just Spiritborn for you in a nutshell, right? So I think we're like 12 hours deep or so, gameplay wise, which is not a lot. Okay, so I'm in Torment 4, right? I can do Pit 80, I can do Pit 85. Like, it's just that the other characters were clearing Pit 100 and just laughing about it at this point, right? My druid had level 70 glyphs because I could farm Pit 90 in 2 minutes. Like, yeah, obviously, like, you know, 12 hours is slow then. Always hard to compare that with each other. You get 2 K's armors, one's from Bartek in Torment 3. Yeah, Torment 3 is just, like, can be blessed, right? It's infrequent. It's more important, though, that you actually come to Bartek, right? There's no advantage in doing Torment 4 if you barely make it to Bartek, if even. So if you do it in Torment 3 more regular yet, do it in Torment 3. However, you gotta also consider that in Torment 4, you get more experience, which makes, obviously, Torment 4 so alluring, because not only are you going to get then your chaotic armor, you're also going to get more paragon points, right? And that's something to not underestimate, because not only do you want the chaos armor, and more paragon points are also good. So like farming Torment 3 always feels then like you're wasting your time, because you could be getting that much more XP. Okay, children still sound happy upstairs. Good. Out of my way. Oh, it's mommy. Hello, mom. Around Sea Hag. Okay. Oh, Tribute of Radiance. Which one was Radiance again, Chan? That one. That one. Okay, we only need to do one more. One more. We tried to evade Spiritborn, yes, until Torment 2, and then I just didn't want to anymore. It wasn't bad, but after Torment 2, you're kind of like, someone end me right now, right? Right now, please. I can't take it anymore. Do it right between the eyes. Have you seen how they butchered requirements for Death Trap Rogue? I haven't actually like looked at Death Trap Rogue at all, how it works nowadays. I like the old version, really fun to play. I think if I do a Rogue, I'll probably do Orphan Maker, simply because it's the new playstyle. Like, no matter that Death Trap is technically the superior build, right? I would want to try out Orphan Maker. Now, my fear is that Orphan Maker is only good for pitting and not good for anything else. I should talk to Matthijs about it. Probably knows more. Matthijs like my rogue dude. I like to check for rogue-related stuff. He's always a great inspiration. For Pulverized Druid, you don't need Chaos Armor to get it online. No. I mean, Pulverized Druid doesn't even need a unique to get it online. You literally just play Pulverized Overabundance, Brawn over Brains, and that's it, done. I mean, if you then get a Rotten Lightbringer, like, let's fucking go, right? But if you don't get it, then, like, who cares? You're still cooking. The advantage of Rotten Lightbringer is the Rotten Lightbringer goes from 200 to 600%, okay? Listen, 200 to 600%, okay? So getting the Rotten Lightbringer as a as a chaotic armor goes instantly to 720%. Right? Instantly. That's pretty cool. Shroud of the False Death is now required to make Death Guard Rogue work. Well, that's terrible. What bit is this? Gorilla, Full Volley, Permanent Overpower, together with Massive Barrier on 1% HP playstyle. We also made it a bit more convenient because there are versions where you play almost without automatic barrier generation, but I added automatic barrier generation for this because the no automatic barrier generation works well for the pit because you consistently have your ulti, right? But if you actually play the no automatic barrier generation version in anything but the pit, like Helltides, you just randomly die. Because you'll just get hit by a stray shot from a monster and just die. Why are Germans so hardcore Diablo fans? Well, I can't speak for the other Germans, even though we kind of have a lot of German creators, but I guess, like, we like efficiency, my friend. So playing ARPGs and making efficient decisions is always fun. Making efficient builds, you know? Making things that don't waste your time. Doesn't that sound good to you? I mean, it's personally what I like ARPGs in general. I like it for the build making portion of the ARPG because it's quite enjoyable to fiddle around and twinker DD until you put together a build that does exactly what you've been looking for. Okay, I killed everything, but it wasn't enough because I forgot this pocket of monsters, and if these are not enough, then I'm gonna start crying. Will you make a video on this build? Yes, the video on this build is planned for tomorrow morning. It was just not done today because I just wanted to do another stream, right? I just needed another session with this build to really get to a point where I'm like, this is not snake oil. This is an actual build that I can show you, that I can tell you about, right? That I can be proud of. Otherwise, it would have been a bunch of snake oil. And I don't like selling you snake oil. Prefer getting you like real cool shit. Question on your Zoom sword build. I'm having issues on tier 4 where I keep getting down to the bottom of my mana health. Any way to deal with that? You can add the Blizzard with the mana regeneration. You have to either make your armor max or your resistance max, that you actually resist some damage and don't just soak your mana dry. Should we try to get a better Rod of Kapaleka again? Probably. Still our best item, damage growth wise. So yeah, those would be the main things I would recommend. Those armor and resistance are max. Well, so with the Zoom Sword, you shouldn't over spam Ball of Lightning. So you spam Ball of Lightning, yes. You get a lot of Ball of Lightning, yes. But you shouldn't like spam it too much, because at some point you just keep draining your HP without much outcome. If that makes sense. Now we should be stronger than last time we were here. Oh, come on now. Gotta go all the way over there. Cool. Oh no, I had to walk through the poison and the poison ate me. Are we still playing D4? I played for 5 days and literally did everything in the game. I doubt that, brother. I have 4 characters now up to level 60 in Torment 4. Farming pit 100. That takes time. So, I mean, maybe you have done everything for your one character. Yes. It's rather quick if you don't bother about playing more than one character. But as soon as you like bother playing more than one character, you get a bit more work to do, sir. I was too lazy. I didn't want to go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Duriel, let's go. Quarter stop, greater affix. No, that's shit. I'm so sad. What do I get for myself there? We got a Godsire Crown, Soulbron, Banished Lords, and nothing else. So, sadness. You're seeing your spam. Yeah, so there's definitely over spamming in Sorg, where you just keep soaking your mana empty. For example, in the Boom Ball of Lightning, where you overpower for damage, at some point, I just stop shooting for like 21, 22, 23. Mana full again, and then we go. We could do another 8-wave horde. Maybe get that chaotic armor. And I'm very happy with what we did so far. So I'm kind of content. All right, we got the things we need. Puffing masses, the best one, Chad. Straight away starting with it. Let's fucking go. That's what I like to see. That really makes me happy. Now I just need Ether masses reform themselves on death. And on top of that, I would need spawn to Ether masses at the start and then spawn Ether masses at the start. And we're good to go. Best like possible beginning into this. That's just going to be about right. Please come everyone closer. If you start a vertical stream, there's no white viewing option, Corey. There is a stream, like on the channel, on the Ponyhop channel, that does not say vertical in front of the name, and that is the horizontal stream. However, in the future, you'll be able to swap between horizontal and vertical seamlessly. And I'm currently talking to my YouTube rep to get access to this ASAP. Because obviously I want you to have the best possible viewing experience. And you can just flip your phone then from horizontal to vertical to horizontal, however you feel. So bear with me. I'm working on it. Okay, Burning Rain is useless. Ambushing Hellborn is useless. Oh, so all of you are actually useless. I mean, I could take the Ambushing Hellborn at least. You have a guide up, Louis? No, sorry. The guide is not up because we just gave it the last polishing today. And if I actually had given you the guide, it would have been a bad build. Because we literally just gave it the final polish. We get up to the billions of damage from the millions. And it was only 2 minor tweaks that were needed. But that you can do faster than me now, right? So I will give you this build without the suffering. Without the suffering and the pain, you will only get the fun. And no one will remember the pain. That's good. Aha. Out of my way. And if anyone watched like the build 2 days ago, it's unrecognizable. Okay, 67 ether after 2 waves is like, yeah, it's terrible. I kind of need to take the Chaos wave here, I guess. Ether goblins? It's never ether goblins. Dude, this wave should give you so much ether, right? But it doesn't. I don't know if anyone ever noticed how few ether this actual wave gives you. It's kind of terrible. Like for a wave that's just like consistently spawning bosses, you would actually assume this would pop, right? But it doesn't. It just also stops summoning bosses in between because you're killing them too fast. It's only good if you have the +3 Lord stuff. Yeah, I fully agree. What are the odds to get mythic items to level 22? Actually impossible. You can only get mythics from level 35 on. So level 35 opponents onwards can drop mythics. There's the Mothing Mosses. Mosses reform on death. This is why I don't like Chaos Waves. As you say, like, the Chaos Wave is only good if you have, like, the multiple already. So the wave is kind of bound to, like, a condition. Right? So only if you have that is good. Somehow you get one with level 22. I mean, if you get level 35 level loot, for example, if you picked up something from the reputation board or if you get something from the seasonal journey, that was supposed to be level 35 level loot, then it's possible that you get a mythic, right? So any source of level 35 loot, let's say it different. Any source of level 35 loot from that point on can be mythic. Okay. Most don't know this. That's why you also can equip mythics from level 35 on. Right? That's the reason, because of that. Oh man, I don't want to take another Chaos Wave. Screw it. I'm gonna stay with the Mosses now. Eat my offering, Chaos Wave. I don't trust you anymore. Trade me. So this one can reform on death, and then it can poop out an Ether Elite. Right now, we're just trying to feed the Mosses, right? More fodder, so they keep pooping out more things. The only thing we need now is two at the start of the wave. Oh yeah, please give me more Soul Spires. I totally do not abhor this. There's another Soul Spire, but why? So if I could get like one more Soul Spire, I would be like really not happy about that. Okay, we do Hellish Mosses too. Again, we just put everything into those Mosses. Chat, everything. The only thing that's missing is like fixed Ether Mosses on Wave Star. Because that instantly gives you like 60 Ether or something like that. The Hellborn Moss. Oh wow, I did not have armor there for a second. Slightly scary. I am not sure where my Barrier is lacking of late, right? This has been our second death in a while. And we actually changed nothing. Oh, no, that's not true. That is factually not true. I think I know what's happening. So the problem is we're killing enemies too quick. Yeah, so the actual problem is we're killing our enemies too fast now, chat. And that leads to me getting less barrier from the Queen Rune because we have a shitty trigger for the Queen Rune. I think that's what's happening. So our Queen Rune is getting triggered by Ahu. So 100% chance to actually get barrier, right? But that's bad because what is a 100% chance to get you barrier, right? So like we don't want like have 100%. Like it's a 100% lucky hit chance to get barrier, and we have like a decent lucky hit chance. But the problem is if we kill our enemies too fast, then we don't get this lucky hit, and like yeah. Problem is that I can't fix this. I mean, I could swap my runes to do less damage to get more barrier. At least I know the explanation now why this is happening. I don't know if there's a better rune to trigger Kui, maybe. I mean, we can't take Puck because we're using Puck already. We can't use Ultimate because that would be even worse. We can't use a core skill. I mean, we could do core skill spam, technically. I don't know if that's faster. Maybe it's faster, core skill spam. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have core skill spam, though. Okay, so, Chad, this has been an absolute horrible experience. And I think we're not even going to get 666 ether. That's a terrible one. I'm going to start a second character yet. I mean, if you have the Raven build, you don't feel the need to start a second character, brother. You're like, good. Please don't shoot me, weird ballistas. I know you have freeze. And I know I don't want to get frozen by you. Binary? No, for Dune Awakening. Oh, we've done some Doom. And we miss it dearly. Oh, really? You spawned a Soul Spire on top of a Soul Spire because you thought that would be appropriate? Bye, Chihuahua. And you spawned another Soul Spire because you thought that would be appropriate. Well, that did not work out the way I wanted it to, Chad. Might as well have taken the other Chaos Wave, huh? Oh, let's go kill Fell Council. It was terrible. But I kind of wanted to have the Sebasontak, so I could be like at the spot where I know how much more damage it gives me, and I kind of knew how much more. Oh, look at this! Look at us, chat. We killed him faster than he could say whatever he was even wanting to say. Poor guys, just get pooped on. Kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. Wish they'd just taken out the Soul Spires. Honestly, I gotta commend them on one side for the tenacity to keep the Soul Spires, and on the other side for the mistake to keep the Soul Spires. Right? It's like, wow, like I'm so happy you didn't just axe the concept, but why are you so bad? At that. Okay, we got 4 more. I got 35 more. I got 41 more. Let's go kill one Duriel. There's always a chance, chat. After playing PvE2, my eyes were open, not even glanced at D4 Sins. Lecker, enjoy the time until you've done everything in PoE. And then just start playing the other ARPGs again. Because the point always comes. Sincerely, someone who plays all the ARPGs because else pain, right? Hello, Mr. Patrick 4 and 7 knock. Oh wow, we're killing him so much faster with that new with that new Abawaka, Kapaleka. Killing him like so much faster. We're already doing decent damage before, right? But there's Quake. Kind of not nifty. Good man. Maybe we get a Belial too. Belial. Oh, Belial. I'm thinking how I could get more resource because we're currently sitting at 216, right? And obviously, if we get a greater affix on the Rod of Kapalaka, we'd be at 35, so that'd be nice, and we would actually be at 45 or something like that. We have an amulet with a maximum resource, which is pretty good. We have like no other source of maximum resource currently. You could technically play... Yeah, bitte Martina. Okay. Sorry. Meal plans for the children. We wanted to kill this for the 5 whispers. And I just want to see how quick I can kill Endariel, right? I want to see how quickly we can kill Endariel. Should we do a pit 80 just to see how long that would take too, Chad? We could probably do a pit 80 just to see how long that would take. Arthur just dropped a 3GA perdition. I couldn't even play it. One of my builds can stomach the perdition currently. Maybe sword. Oops. Fat finger Hoff. What they call him. Oh, lady. Went away. Oh, I certainly dodged through that before it was there, and I refuse to accept your reality. Right, Chad? I refuse to accept that that dodge might have not been perfect. You're saying different, you're lying. I'm just finding out why you're lying. Certainly lying. Oh, she actually summons the fire beam this early and then just stands in the middle so I can't kill her? Great. So we actually did kill her. We actually did kill her, but she doesn't die when she has that ready. I hate her vulnerable mechanics. The problem is that my barrier is not made for this. So Endariel might be uniquely horrible for the Spiritborn. Because I am really not made for this. When we clearly have her dead. Yeah, I just died because I have no HP. Okay, yeah, that's definitely not something I wish to do. Interesting, though, that, like, Spiritborn would be so bad for her. At least this Spiritborn would be so bad for her, right?
See some steel you need.
Luckily, you don't have to kill her for a single item. Okay, so we wanted to do pit 80. Just the room was called that half the HP. I think you have enough damage. No, sir. We never have enough damage. Did you just say we should lower our damage? Burn the witch, Chan. Heresy. Heresy spotted. Call the Inquisition. Custodes take him. The man's a sinner. Speaks out against the Emperor. Terrible person. It's tainted by the warp. As I said, like, due to the amount of overpowers we do and the frequency of overpowers we do, a higher pit tier like 80 wouldn't even feel more difficult because we're just over damaging anyways, right? So we're over damaging the pit 70 by far and wide. So doing a higher tier is kind of like just whatevers, right? just want to play this for the gorilla pounding the ground. It's actually the funniest part about the build because it's what keeps you alive, right? So you spam your quill volleys to reduce your cooldowns to then spam the ground with your gorilla, and your gorilla does do massive damages, right? And we are sitting in the billions, so that kind of makes me happy anyways. And this is like by far not like I have shoddy masterworks, right? I don't have the chaotic armor I want. I don't have the greater affixes I want. And yet we're sitting here. Life's good. However, still, like from all the classes, the hardest one to gear out. And also now, if I want to scale, that's where it gets then the tricky with the Spiritborn. Because I need those perfect masterworks we were talking about, right? I need those greater affix items to take this to the next level there where I want it to be. And we could obviously instantly add a Shroud, False Death, and that would instantly be a huge damage boost. That would be cheating. Minimum level of glyphs too. That's true. We could actually get the glyphs way higher, but that's also why you want to do pit 80s, right? I mean, if you can do a pit 80 in 5 minutes, you can get all your glyphs at least up to level 62 easily, because with pit 80 you can maintain the +2 until level 62, right? And then after doing that, you do pit 85 to get all your glyphs up to 66, and then you pit 90s to get your like 72 and so on, right? So that's when the slow and gradual grind begins, unless obviously you pick up some super strong chaotic item that allows you to just go way higher right away. Oh, I just did a 2 billion hit there, chat, actually. Interesting. As I said, I never get to see like the 2 billion hits because like normal enemies, they don't take the amount of damage that we deal to them. Oh, they're 1.7 billion too. Nice sewer, chat. There was a 3-minute pit 70 and a 5-minute pit 80 right now. You know what? That actually feels decent. Knowing what for power scaling is still behind you. Good one. Okay, so in the guide, we have to include the 1-60 evade Spiritborn, right? To kind of tell you how to get to the point where you can play this build. That makes sense to you guys? I guess you don't just want the endgame build. I guess you also want the way to the endgame build. So we gotta talk about like playing evade Spiritborn until certain point X, and then swapping over to something different. So you could like then progress into what we're doing here. Oh, massive damage, chat. Massive damage. Nice. Felt very good. I like to see that. I think leveling progress is important because it goes until Torment 2. Right? So, it would rather be something we need to talk about. What I wonder is if I would be better off getting my, instead of critical strike damage, probably overpower damage multipliers. Should probably be it. I mean, the strongest thing that can still happen is getting this as chaotic armor, and again, getting Subasonic as chaotic armor. But even if I got just Rod of Kabaleka as chaotic armor, that would be insane. So I'm a bit sad that we still don't have that. Okay, pit 80 done, chat. 5 minutes. That means we could do 85 to 90 probably, which is actually crazy. I did not expect that 90 is on the table already. But it does seem like that 90 would be on the table. So, like, can I have a round of applause for the Spiritborn? Did not expect it to happen this frequent. Ether events happen faster. I feel like this one is also not working correctly. Because last season, right? The Ether event happened faster was quite intense. Like, the Ether events were like popping like M&Ms. And now, sure, it's like... It's there, but... not as frequent. That was ass clapping. Whatever floats your boat, sir. You can imagine whatever you want. This is a free fetish, non-judgmental zone. So pop off, sir. Is the main overpower perk? Nope. Main overpower perk is actually worse than using Beast Cornered. Beast Cornered is 180%. Main overpower perk is 120%. Beast Cornered actually better. Stalking Devil or Hungry Spires? I mean, Stalking Devil, immediate bonus. Hungry Spires, like... Hungry Spires? How many normal items are required for the aspect, or is that where the perfect masterwork effects come into play? Cloak what? More words? Because not enough words. I'm missing something, and I don't know what I'm missing, but something is missing. Oh shit, I think I got a WhatsApp, and I need to read it because it could be the wife. And she's like, everything okay at home? And you know, well, if you don't respond in the next 5 minutes, all hell lets loose. Because there could be everything not okay at home. You die, lads. I need to check. Ah, see? I told you. I don't want to be like this guy that says I told you so, but I told you so. Good. Massing masses. Ooh, ether fiends, more ether. You hit a wall at 90 with Dancing Knives. I'm actually more impressed that you made it to pit 90 with Dance of Knives. I thought you would hit a wall way earlier. So here, like, I'm tipping my non-existent hand, sir. That's pretty impressive. We have a leveling build for this. Yes, we have a leveling build already up, but it's not as good explained as the video will be. The leveling build is Evade Spiritborn, and there's a few steps to Evade Spiritborn that if you do it for the first time and you don't have like really a step-by-step plan, you might struggle with it. So like if you're a bit more patient, like in around 8 hours, the guide will be done for this. But you know, I gotta sleep first because for me it's 6 p.m. and I know 8 hours sounds soon, but I don't sleep that much, so okay. Okie dokie, let's go for the case waves. What in normal? Cloaked, I'm still not sure what you're asking, Cloaked. You have me at a disadvantage. I hate this one as the Spiritborn. I mean, you can kind of put the gorilla in the middle, right, to deal with the dudes. But you're still like required to dash out and dash back in, and then dash out and dash back in. I always miss like my long range nukes for this one from the Cataclysm Druid. Okay. Oh, summon Hellborn, no. Hellish Monsters, no. You're all terrible. Summon Hellborn. Let's go. Yeah, Cloak, right now we have a language barrier going on here. I'm like 62% sure I know what you're talking about, but the rest is like question marks. Is Shroud of the False Death going to boost your damage? Yes, always. No matter the build, Shroud is going to boost your damage wholesale. I mean, you have to consider that Shroud boosts all your passives, and you get so many passives that do like 4% more damage, 6% more damage, 8% more damage, 5% more damage. So what do you think is going to happen when you have Shroud and suddenly all these like percentages are getting it up, right? I mean, usually Shroud leads to 60 to 80% damage increase alone over the aspects that you're boosting. Shroud in a nutshell, usually. And that depends from class to class, because sometimes, for example, for Druid, Shroud of the False Death also means that you're getting more overpowers, right? Because you have this overpower counter that goes down in seconds the more levels are on, but at some point you can't put more levels on. But with Shroud, you just get like that, right? And then you have like some more max HP, and you get more damage reduction or cooldown reduction or things like that. So it's just so much more than a damage boost what Shroud is doing for you, right? There's some... Oh, hello, Mr. Hellborn. Oh, there was somewhere a ether goblin in the mix, snuck in there. Like that Hellborn can spawn with events is doing some good job. We're still not at 666 ether, chat. Okay, here. If Hellborn spawn more ether. Kind of sad how like Hellborn are not viable at all, right? I kind of feel like they overtuned that, right? They made Lords so viable and Fiends so viable, but they made Hellborn so unviable. But it's so unviable that it's really like, I don't want to mess with this at all anymore. Right, not even 2%. I mean, you could be lucky if you get like 6 Hellborn or so spawned per wave. Such a rare random occurrence. Oh, we're rather close to 666 ether, and yet I worry that we need the last wave, and even with the last wave, that we might not make it. Fine. Give me something good. Oh god, a chaotic wave. What could possibly go wrong? Everything, chat. Everything. Oh no! Hacks, lies, and slander. Spiritborn is actually a bit like good for this because I pretty much dash from goblin to goblin, right? But since my attacks are all area focused forward, not only do we dash from goblin to goblin, we also kind of like hit all the small goblins instantly. And that leads to like instant killing them all. Kind of like when you're playing Cataclysm Druid, it just goes nasty. Don't get Colossal Fiends early, it's GG. Nah, you can get there without Colossal Fiends, but Colossal Fiends is such a must-have. Why did your gloves get blocked for changing the stat? I mean, if you are a druid and you change your stat to in somehow, because you're equipping the same gloves on your necro, then they won't work on your druid because druid can't use in. Right? Or wrong aspect from a different class or whatever. You have aspect of Wild Rage on. Okay, what do we got here, John? So, this is X-Fel's Corroded Signet. This is Enduring Faith, and that's Loyalty's Mantle, and all of those are terrible. We finally got a Harmony of Abawaka, though, so that's nice because I need it for explanatory purposes. And then we're just sad about the outcome. Sad face, chat. Okay, what are we sitting at? We're sitting at 90,000 Opticide. We sit at a pit 90 clear, ladies and gentlemen. So I think we're more than ready to get you the guide tomorrow on this build. Again, keep in mind, if you already want to prepare, the only thing you need is a Banished Lord's Talisman as AK as armor, preferable as your pants or boots. Chest is possible, gloves is possible as well. It will just make it a bit harder. You do not need a Harmony of Abawaka as a item. That's just what I have right now. Good. Need to end it here now, chat. My children need me. My planet needs me. I'll be back tomorrow for a whole long-ass stream. We're going to start either Barb or Rogue. But before we start Barb or Rogue, we're obviously going to give you this build. And then at some point, we're going to play more Spiritborn, actually trying to get that Sapa Sontag, trying to get that Kapalaka to really see the dive into billions, okay? Therefore, I wish you all a great good evening, night, day. Don't forget to watch all the other videos on the channel if you'd like to, and do me a favor. So thank you very much. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Dankeschön.